Hey guys, so this is Michael Dobler from DAP, and I just wanted to share a quick vlog with you guys about some research I did lately. So as you guys know, probably by now, I am a pre-junior in the urban planning program at DAP, and DAP's pretty widely regarded. And this research I did anyway kind of showed that critique could probably be ran in a lot of better ways. And I know you guys probably don't hear about this topic too much, and I thought it was something that we should definitely discuss and bring into a dialogue about methods and ways that we could potentially make it better. So anyway, critique for anyone who's not a DAP or design student and isn't actually sure what this is about. Critique's a widely utilized method for teaching. It's been extensively studied and is regarded generally as one of the best methods of teaching design. And for studio classes, I don't know if you guys know this, but you spend a lot of time each week in critique. Oftentimes you're going to spend a lot more hours each week than you do in your normal classes and in critique. The expectation of work outside being maybe 12, 14 hours-ish a week outside of class just on studio work. And you'll usually spend about double the amount of time each week in studio classes that you spend in non-studio classes as well. So one of the important things that a lot of the literature that I read when conducting this research had said is that formative feedback for students and helping students develop a critical evaluation of their work is super important to making a successful critique. And for a successful critique, you also need active participation in the students. So I wanted as the researcher to try to determine how actively involved the students were, as well as analyzing a bunch of other different ways to see if critique basically is going pretty well. So basically I just divided the class up into several different groups divided the research I was doing into several different categories, and then surveyed the students and tried to assess for several different categories. And the categories were questions regarding feedback from critique, questions regarding an understanding of the assignments which are worked on for critique, and questions trying to assess how actively involved students were in critique. So for the questions that were regarding feedback in critique, only 4 of the 11 students marked that they only sometimes understand the feedback they get, which is a little bit concerning since feedback is one of the primary ways that you improve what you're doing, and 2 additional students marked that they almost never understand the feedback they receive. More than half of the students usually seem to understand assignments well, but 3 of the 11 students I studied marked that they only sometimes understand how the assessment would be done, and 2 students marked that they usually don't understand how assessment would be done. More than half of the students I surveyed marked that they were either only sometimes actively involved or usually not actively involved in critique. And the way these critiques are run, usually you're going to have the professor at the front of the room, all the students are behind him in the room, and then you have each student present one by one in front of the professor. After they present, they'll get feedback, ideally from the professor, from the students, and that'll help them improve the processes that they use to create the design work, as well as suggestions for improving the design work itself. So it's super important that you have active participation here, otherwise the people sitting around the students in the back are kind of just sitting and waiting until class ends without actually getting much out of it, except for the one time when they take their turn at the front. So active participation is super important, and it's mildly disturbing that a lot of the students surveyed didn't feel that they were actively involved in most studio critiques. In the survey, 6 of the students surveyed also responded that only sometimes did the feedback that they got help them in improving the processes and methods of which they did work. And in the literature I studied, that's super important that the processes and methods by which you're creating the work are improved, as well as just getting feedback on how to change the work itself. Because if you don't know what you should be doing as you create the work to make it better, then sure, you make the changes for this one assignment, but the next time you do an assignment, it's going to be just as inefficient as it was last time. So after this study, I basically have came to the opinion that improving the critique and the processes by which we do it is going to make some valuable changes to the program. That we all kind of want the same thing. We want the same goal, the best possible learning environment, and working towards creating that and improving the dialogue between professors and students, we should probably work towards some changes. In this study that I did, it's limited, and like a larger study could be done that could show more. But I think it kind of indicates that, at least in the class that I'm in, that we should look into methods of improving the critique, basically. So if you found this interesting, just make sure to check out the full paper that'll be linked below. And until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.